Hi everyone, it's Teresa with Crafty with Teresa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, in today's video, as promised, I have now added scrapbook layouts to my crafting channel. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've noticed several folks have really enjoyed seeing my layouts, so here we are. A couple of disclaimers in advance. I am more of a card maker, so I wanted to share that I'm not as comfortable doing the free design scrapbook layouts, so I hope you'll give me some grace as I muddle through my way around putting this scrapbook layout together. I do like how this turned out, and I'm sure I'll get the big thumbs up from my granddaughter. She loves to look at her books and give me, that's me, her ideas, suggestions, and wonderful praise. So let's get started. Today I'll be preparing a scrapbook layout as part of a challenge for the Stampin' Up! Team that I'm involved in. We'll be using the Totally Awesome Designer Series paper. Just to give you a little information about the challenge, monthly our team will be preparing cards, tags, or scrapbook layouts or any or all three of these designs that are in the 2025 annual catalog. So for the May challenge, I've already done the card design, and I'll link that video for you. So now I'm tackling the scrapbook layout. I really struggled with this layout, but it's not because of the design. You know that saying, do as I say, not as I do? Well, I grabbed the designer series paper for Totally Awesome, but meant to grab the designer series paper that has the sticker sheet. So for me, it made it a little bit more difficult, but nothing we crafters can't overcome, right? So let's take a look at the papers. When I first saw it, I thought, some people will struggle with so many turtles. But I thought I'd share the three ways I can use this paper. The first one, my sons were both in a competition, and the greens and yellows in this designer series paper are absolutely perfect for me to scrap those photos. The second way that I can use this, I have lots of pictures at the zoo with the grandkids where these photos will be great also. But mainly, this is perfect for some of the photos that I have with my granddaughter, who's in a destination imagination competition. It was some time ago, but how perfect is it that it was a science project and she was dressed as a turtle? What a great costume and what great papers for this, right? Now, looking at these papers, you could actually use the turtle side for options like picnics, riding bikes, music, barbecues, because these little turtles are involved in it seems like everything. So, but I am actually going to use a little bit of both. I think the green turtle shell paper and the yellow paper, I'm really not sure what's on this yellow paper, but I think those two colors will look good for my frame. Then I grabbed one of the strips that has some red in it to go along with that stage and some embellishments. I also grabbed my stamp and die set bundle. I didn't end up using this because I have so many turtles to choose from on the paper. But I will be using this stamp and die set later and some additional cards coming later. As a reminder, here's the design that's located in the catalog on page 28. I've ordered more catalogs, but right now I can't show them because I sent all my catalogs out. But here's the design that we'll be working with today. It looks like I could use one or two frames, one larger photo and a smaller one, or one large photo with a tag or journal area. Looks like I'll need a title of some kind, and I'll need some decorations up there on the upper right. Now, while I have this out, here's a look at all the designs that I'll be trying to recreate each month. Feel free to join this challenge, and I'd love it if you could post your version of it in the comments of this video. It's so much fun seeing the different versions as people have photos and memories that they want to scrapbook. Now, as we take a look at the frames, I decided that I wanted to have the green turtle shell paper as the outside frame, then the yellow designer series paper as the inside frame, and I also wanted white paper on in the middle. So here's a quick tip on how I make the frames. I could absolutely use the entire piece of paper, but I oftentimes will do what is called gutting the frames to save paper. To gut the frame, here's what I like to do. I'll grab my trimmer, then I'll grab a Post-it note and add it to my trimmer. For example, if I need to gut the paper and I need to take 1 inch off of it from the inside, I'll put the Post-it note at the 1 inch mark on the top and the 11 inch mark on the bottom of the trimmer. Then I'll set the paper at the 1 inch mark, in my case, on my trimmer, that's on the left. Then I'll take 1 inch off the inside and have my trimmer go from top to bottom at those Post-it notes, and that will leave me the frame because we'll remove the inside. Take a look and see if this makes sense. As I finish up, it's not an exact science, so sometimes I do have to grab my sharp scissors and snip them off to make sure they're cut all the way, and I apologize that was not in frame for you. Now I've already glued the turtle shell paper down, the frame down onto the white paper, and off screen I've already cut the yellow designer series paper. However, I did make a change. The change that I made is I cut the yellow paper down to 10.5 by 10.5, then I gutted it with that 1 inch middle taken out. Same process as I showed the green shell paper cutting, but I did take a little bit off of that paper first. Now let's go ahead and glue the yellow designer series paper. Now I will say this, hindsight is always 20/20. I cut that yellow paper really tight, measuring up against that green turtle shell paper. So I ended up wiggling it around quite a bit, finally got it to where I wanted it. Now this is what happens when you are a designer as you go person. I didn't want to cut another piece of paper, so I did some improv here, and I may or may not have a hoarding problem with paper. So now I had quite a few pictures to choose from. However, because there are other participants in the competition, I try to be very mindful of that. So I've covered up one of the other kids in the photos to show you the other photos that I'm looking at. And again, I'm designing as I go, so I was looking at these at the time. I just love the cute pictures of the kiddos standing beside each other, first with their back to us, and then we had them turn around, and I'm thinking, oh, how cute that would be to put it in a flip flap and show the before and after, because I think my granddaughter will just love that. Which, by the way, because of the photo change, I'm going to go with my granddaughter getting the reward. The photo shows very little of the person handing it out, and my granddaughter looks so happy, so it's a win-win. In this set, there is a spare sheet of items that you can cut out, and I showed that to you earlier, but I grabbed 2 items from that sheet. I grabbed the stage and a strip that has red on it because I wanted to bring more of that red in because of the stage. So the red has polka dots on it, it has some stripes, and I thought I'll just use this for two things. I'll frame the stage to bring some more of that red in, and I'll also take the leftovers and make my banners up on the right hand side, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Now tip, when I need to line things up, I will grab a piece of double-sided tape and I'll add it to the strip and then attach it to the stage in this case, and then glue it down and then remove that tape. You don't have to do that, that's just what I do to kind of keep myself straight. And I'll do the same for the bottom of the stage. Now, I did go ahead, since I had them, I went ahead and took the middle piece of paper that we cut out, and I used that to actually do the die cuts of those cute turtles. I cut quite a few, but I'll use those others on the companion pages or on the additional cards that I'll be making. I did want to tuck one of those turtles into the top of that stage holding a title or something, so I added some dimension to the stage. Then I slit the turtle's legs to tuck that in. Now there are places on the turtles, if you get the dies, that do have places for you to tuck things in. I just didn't need that. I needed to have the turtle standing at the top there. So I grabbed my tweezers and added the word celebrate, and then I added another turtle on the other side, and it was perfect because of the way they had their arms set up from the left and the right. It was perfect to hold that word celebrate. Next, I'll grab some of my stash items and add a little notebook and a banner that says goals. On the notebook, I did add a little black piece of cardstock to make it stand out on that white a little bit. And then I tucked it to the side of the stage. I added the goals banner, and then of course, I don't know why, but I just love that cute little turtle that's laying on its back. So that had to go into this layout. Lastly, I had some red stars in my stash, and so I added them to the two banners at the top, and then I had some smaller red stars, so I grabbed a set of 3 of those and I put them at the bottom of the stage. Now, a few final notes. I will now add the photo of my granddaughter getting her award. I ended up changing that up a little bit and decided I needed a little bit of a white border around that, and so you'll see that in the final version of this layout. I added a strip around that yellow to kind of enhance the difference between the green turtle shell and the yellow. And then I also, which I did show that here, but I forgot to mention it, I did add that hip hip hooray, because that's just my granddaughter in a nutshell. She is just excited about all kinds of destination imagination projects. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I realize there was a lot of chatting in here, and that's not my norm, but I did want to share a lot of those things and the reasoning behind my picking this paper. And then, of course, I absolutely am super excited how cute this turned out, and I know that my granddaughter is going to love it. So thank you again for joining me. I appreciate your sticking with me and watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed it enough that you'll hit that subscribe, like, notification button, and if you get a chance to comment, it really does help YouTube to notice me. So until next time, have a great day.